All right, y'all. Welcome back to another Bible study. Today is March 7th, 2026, and we're going to talk about "You Are the Light of the World." This is part four. It's been uh, kind of broken up the last few weeks, last couple months for real. But I really want to finish this topic about the light of the world and kind of talk about some stuff I talked about in the previous Bible study. So just get right into it. This scripture right here, Numbers 24, verse 17 through 20, when it says, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir shall be a possession of his for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth in the city. And when he looked on Amalek and took up his parable, he said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. And so we talk about this star out of Jacob, the scepter out of Israel. Talking about the king of Israel, the promised Messiah that it is promised to come through Israel, shall make a possession, or he shall destroy the enemies of Israel. And I wanted to kind of highlight that because this scripture is really highlighted or repeated in multiple prophets. And just going to kind of highlight this. We could kind of go through it really quickly, but this is Jeremiah chapter 48, verse 45. And it said, they that fled, this is a prophecy about the judgment of Moab. It says, they that fled stood under the shadow of Heshbon because of the force, but a fire shall come forth out of Heshbon, and a flame from the midst of Sihon, and shall devour the corner of Moab, and the crown of the head of tumultuous ones. So the tumultuous ones. And so it's like that tumultuous ones is very similar to the children of Sheth. It's like that's kind of just like a idiom of that phrase, like the children of tumult, or the children of derision. And so it's prophesying that Moab is going to be judged, and they're going to be judged severely. And then this is Obadiah, says chapter 1 verse, or Obadiah 1 verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. And so you see that same language where it says, Jacob shall be a fire, Joseph shall be a flame. It says here, a fire shall come out, and then a flame from the mist. And it's talking about Esau. This one was talking about Moab. This one's talking about Esau. But again, in Numbers, it talks about both of them, Moab and Edom, were going to be judged severely, by Israel, or by this promised one that's coming out of Israel. And then this is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 16. Same language. It says, therefore shall the Lord of hosts, send among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory he shall kindle a burning like the burning of a fire, and the light of Israel shall be for a fire, and his Holy One for a flame, and it shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day, and shall consume the glory of his forest and of the fruitful field, both soul and body, and they shall be as when a standard bearer fainteth, and the rest of the trees of his forest shall be few, that a child may write them. And so, same language, Israel's a fire and the Holy One a flame. And this one is very specific about the light of Israel is the fire. So it's like when Christ was talking to the people, say, you are the light of the world, also that light was meant to be like your inspiration. You're a light of this world. You have the power of the Most High. You have the influence and the gifts, that wisdom, those gifts that the Most High has given us. But also that light is also a fire. It's meant to be used as a weapon against the people of darkness. The darkness cannot handle the light. When darkness is encountered by light, there's no more darkness. And so that light is not just a metaphoric thing; it's also a very physical thing. And this is not just a spiritual thing; it's also physical as well. It's like we're not just when we talk about war. The scriptures say it's not a physical war, but it's a spiritual war. But at the same time, war sometimes leads to a physical conflict, and this judgment that is going to come upon the world is going to be a physical judgment on the people that go against the Most High. And so that's why it's like, I want to kind of emphasize that this is a real thing. This is sometimes we like over spiritualize the Bible and try to make it seem like the Bible's talking about like spiritual entities or demons or something like that. But these are real people. And I just want to highlight that because when we talk about like Satan being like the enemy, I mean, that's true to in a sense, but at the same time, like Satan is used by God for his purposes. But there are actually people who hate God, like real physical people that hate God and hate his people who follow his commandments. And they want to destroy God's law. They want to destroy the Bible. So this is Psalm 83. And y'all familiar with this. This is talking about basically the enemies of God. In Psalm 83, verse 1, a song or a psalm of Asaph. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not your peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies take a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Oh, hold on. Oh, damn, hold on. Oh, hey, what's going on, y'all?
Yeah, my phone went dead.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, let me get back to this. I was saying how I was like there are real enemies of God that sometimes we over spiritualize the Bible and we think that it's just like the Bible when it talks about like people being judged and things like that. We think about it's like a spiritual sense, but it's actual physical people that hate God and hate people that obey God, hate people that obey the commandments. And this Psalm 83 kind of highlights that. So it's like, let me read it again. So Psalm 83, verse 1, song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They that taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So is they? Who are these they? They keep saying they are doing this. Psalm 83, verse 6, all the way to 8, it says, The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also is joined with them. They have hopped in the children of Lot, or they have helped join with the children of Lot, Selah. And so I wrote down these 10 nations that are listed here that are described as the they who are attacking Israel, who are attacking the Most High and his people. Like these people, these nations are the ones that are seen as the enemies of the Most High's people. And so you see the first one that shows up is Edom. And as I mentioned before, and saw in Numbers chapter 24, when it says this star out of Jacob, the scepter of Israel, Edom was the first nation that says it's going to be a possession. Or I'm sorry, Moab was the first nation in Edom. And then Amalek is highlighted. And Amalek is, you can go by the genealogy, is the grandson of Esau. So Amalek, as his own nation, is called out even, specifically when it comes to Edom. And so here you see Edom here, you see the Ishmael was the Ishmaelites, that was Ishmael was a son of Abraham, but the promise went to Isaac instead of Ishmael. And then Moab and Ammon, those are the children of Lot, Abraham's nephew. And then the Hagarenes. Who are the Hagarenes? The Hagarenes are people that lived like by the Philistines. They were like an Arabian people over there by the Jordan. And it says Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, and Tyre and Ashur. They all joined in to fight against the Most High's people. And so who is Ashur? That's Assyria. So it's like, these are all these nations that are, bent are meant to cause a lot of conflict into the nation of Israel, really to cut off the people. So it's like the nation of Israel is cut off, like, so it's like, the general people don't know who Israel is as a people. I'm talking about biblical Israel. I'm not talking about the country, the state of Israel. I'm talking about the biblical, Israelites of the Bible. So it's like, there's been a confederacy, a conspiracy to destroy the people who are of the Bible, to basically fulfill this prophecy. And I don't know if y'all heard about this, but this is the Georgia Guidestones. This was built in 1980, and it was mysteriously destroyed during the pandemic. It was like in 2022. But there were these 10 principles, almost like 10 commandments, that were listed on these Guidestones, and it was listed in 8 languages. Like it was like English and Arabic, Hebrew, Hindi. I think it was like an Ethiopian language, Mandarin, and I think Japanese and a couple other languages. But I'm not going to list all the commandments that they had on here or guidelines they had on here. But they said the one thing they wanted to do was maintain a population of 500 million people. And if y'all don't know, I looked up how many people are in this world. We have 8 billion, over 8 billion, 200 million people in this world as of last year. So I just did a quick calculation. Like, to maintain 500 million, you have to get rid of 96% of the people. Like, that's like, so this is literally, or 94% of the people, this is like 6% of the people today. So it's like, if some mysteriously something happened that 94% of the people just perished, we would have 500 million people. So it's like, it's pretty, as I said, these real people. These people have a lot of wicked agendas to kind of do these things, and that's why I said this was built. This was built in 1980. This was like in Georgia, some small town over in Georgia, and it was just destroyed a few years ago. But this was, it's kind of put out there that this is what a lot of, they want people to kind of know what their purpose is. So this is a real thing. It's not some conspiracy theory, So it's like, there's a real agenda to really, kind of have this goal. I'm not saying that this is just everybody's in on it. This is more the elite of the elite people that have these goals in mind. That's why I said the Bible kind of, forewarns us of these wicked people that really hate, they hate the Most High and they hate the people. Like, one of the first laws that the Most High made was to be fruitful and multiply. And a lot of these people, they don't want the people to multiply. They want to be able to control a certain population of people. So just it's kind of putting it out there. And that's why I put these scriptures in here to kind of show that these are real people. This isn't just like, over spiritualization of it. Like, it's not just Satan. So this is like a scripture that kind of, these two scriptures are the same. The 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 1 is in 1 Chronicles chapter 21, and where it talks about when David was about to take a census of the people, and it displeased the Most High, and he ended up sending a plague or a pestilence to judge the people because of David's mistake. But when you read 2 Samuel 24, verse 1, it says, and again, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David again against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. And for the king said to Joab, and he basically told him to, let's take a census of the people. And then in First Chronicles 21, verse 1, it says, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. And then David spoke to Joab. So you see it's the same story, but here it says the anger of the Lord did this, but then it says Satan stood up against Israel. So it's like people who, try to disprove the Bible say like, see, so are you saying that the Lord is Satan? Or, and it's like, no, it's really the same thing. It's the same story. It's just, in some instances that when the Most High sends his angel to do something, it seemed as if it comes from the Most High, and in other times it said like, the Most High is using Satan to do his will. So it's not, saying that they're one and the same. It's just saying that sometimes the Satan is seen as just like a servant of the Most High to do what needs to be accomplished, and you see that in the book of Job. That's really the whole first few chapters is about how Satan needed permission to afflict Job, but it was the will of the Most High for him to go through that. So I put that in there just to kind of emphasize that Satan is not the necessarily the enemy that people like to portray him as. It's more like he's just doing what the Most High has intended him to do to fulfill prophecy for for what he wants us to go through. But it's like these are real people that actually have these agendas. And then this is Isaiah 60. I just want to close here, highlighting that light topic I was starting off with. So it's like verse 1. It says, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. So it's like this is who the Most High is. He's talking about. These people are going to have this light, have this glory, that the Gentiles are going to come to you, to come to this light. Kings are going to come to you. Verse 4, lift up thy eyes round about and see, all they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Your sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. So this emphasis of that. And let me just skip a little bit to verse 10. And it says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. And so this is the nation of Israel. This is the promise of the reconciliation of that people. Verse 11, therefore thy gates shall be open continually, and they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary. And I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. And all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. And this is also emphasized in Revelation 2:9, where it says, those who call themselves Jews shall, bow down to your feet and know that I have loved you. So it's like this prophecy, it's going to, basically be the pinnacle of that salvation of the people that are going to be highlighted or be elected. The elect of God, the holy ones, the ones that are going to be obtain that special mercy in the last days are going to have that. They're going to be promised with this glory, and the other nations are going to basically rebuild the nation, the city, Jerusalem and Zion of how it was supposed to be, and they're going to, basically bring gifts for the Most High, bring the people as gifts to the Most High as their, what would you call like a gift, an offering? Like it's like we have, these people that were afflicted are going to these were the people that you have chosen, and we're going to bring them back to you with, that's going to be our appeasement to you. So that's just these prophecies in the last days, but really just kind of emphasizing what I was talking about, the light. So it's like, when we talk about the light of the world, it's a very, kind of deep topic. That's why I wanted to kind of break it down in different Bible studies, and say like, the light is, it's not just, just like, a light of the world, like you just kind of inspire people, but it's also, it's a defense, and it's a weapon against the darkness of this world. So it's like, y'all listening, y'all have the light of the Most High in y'all, the Spirit of God in y'all. So it's like you have a power that a lot of people don't have. They can't handle when the darkness really comes on this earth, and it really, overwhelms people. A lot of people are not going to have the mental capability to maintain themselves. They're going to basically go crazy. But you have an inner strength in you, inner light, that you'll be able to, maintain, and also maintain your family and people who follow you. So it's like, that's the gift that the Most High has given the people that follow him. So it's like, that's why it's like it's a strong mercy that he's given us, and I hope nobody takes that for granted. I hope we continue to grow in our faith and continue to cultivate that little flame that the Most High given us, so it can become a torch, and we can use it for his glory, and protect our loved ones. So that's all I got. I appreciate y'all coming in.